Good morning, everyone. I have to apologize for my very casual look this morning. It's kind of a ponytail kind of day for me here. So I wanted to just kind of touch base on some APA things and just highlight a few things for the strategic planning case scenario assignment that is due this Sunday. So what I'm sharing with you right now is just, I took some examples from assignments that have been submitted and just put them on this Word doc to just kind of guide my overview here. And this is mainly to just kind of show you probably the most common errors that I'm finding in APA formatting, okay? So to start off, the word references, oh, by the way, you always want to start your reference page on a new page. So when you're done writing at the very end, once you have your conclusion or whatever, insert a page break and start the reference page on the next page, okay? So here we have the word references, right? It needs to be centered, it needs to be bold, and there should not be a colon. I've seen that a few times, okay? Very simple, but kind of important, these little details, okay? First citation here is an article from healthit.gov. And so the first thing, as I'm looking at this, I see, okay, number one, it's not double spaced. So I'm going to do that. Secondly, I noticed that the title is not in sentence case. And so if you're wondering what sentence case is, that means that only the first word is capitalized. And then if there is a colon or a dash within the title, then you would want to capitalize the first word after that colon or dash. So in this case, I would just go through here and put the rest of this citation in lowercase, or sorry, the title in this citation in lowercase, okay? I'm not going to do that all right now because I don't want to waste your time. The other thing is, as I look at this, I see retrieved June 14th from, and then the URL. So one important thing to know is that in the 7th edition, you do not need to have retrieved from any longer. And so I would delete that and just have that simply followed by the URL. And then you can play around with the URL to get it, a little bit formatted a little bit nicer. This next one, again, not double spaced, and so I would go ahead and double space that right away. The title is correct. I would, because it is a web page or an article from a website, I would italicize the title, okay? Italicize it. Again, here we have retrieved from, so I would delete that, and then again, I would play around with the formatting of the URL. Let's see if I can do it while we're on here today. So I use this remove hyperlink a lot just when I'm playing around with formatting. Whoop, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to remove that again. All right. The other thing that I noticed, probably one of the bigger errors that I'm finding is related to the Oaks and Waters textbook. So it's really important to know that the Oaks and Waters textbook is written by many different authors, and the Oaks and Waters, Pam and Amy, are the editors of that textbook, okay? And so I think in very rare circumstances, you're going to just cite it as a textbook, like Oaks and Waters, and then the title and all that good stuff. That's like super rare. What I want to see is the actual author of the chapter you used when you're paraphrasing, quoting, whatever it is that you're doing. I want to see the author, okay? And I want to know what chapter it was that you're getting that information from. And also note that especially when you're paraphrasing and when you're quoting, you always need a page number. And so paraphrasing, that is a little bit more hit and miss if there is a page number or not a page number, but I always err on the side of including it just because it does help the reader if they want to go back and learn more about that topic, okay? So this is kind of what I'm typically seeing is this Oaks and Waters, and then just general, okay, what the rest of the elements here. But what I really want to see is I want to see the authors of the chapter. And so I've used this example several times in my grading, and so I just want to point out here. So this is a chapter on data privacy and confidentiality in the Oaks and Waters book. And so the authors happen to be Danica, Brenda, and Amy Waters. And so there they are listed as authors, the year, the title of that chapter, note sentence case, right? Only the first word is capitalized. And then we say in Oaks and Waters and denote there that they're the editors, okay? Then we want to identify the title of the entire book, okay? And that is where we would italicize the title. And so for books, you're going to italicize the title of the book, okay? Not the title of the chapter. And then this is a 5th edition. It's pages 305 to 339. And note AHEMA Press. There is no Chicago or Illinois or any of that in front of this. Just simply put the publisher, okay? You no longer need the publisher city and state. So I think when I was reading about this, why it's not, is that because it's really easy to identify where that publisher is located now with the internet and things. And so they just didn't feel like that was a necessary component of the citation any longer. Okay. Then going on to an in-text citation, I just want to show you an example here of that too. I really do not want to see Oaks and Waters cited in text ever. I want to know the chapter. Okay, so this is what the in-text citation would look like if you had a paraphrase or a quotation from the Brenda and Waters chapter in the book. Okay. And then lastly here, I just thought I would finish up with a journal article, just simply pointing out a couple of things here. It's important to make sure that you're paying attention to the number of authors that you have listed. There are some guidelines in the APA manual about, what to do if there's over so many authors, but you can list quite a few before you have to. Where you need to pay more attention to that is in text. If you have I believe I shouldn't off the top of my head because I'm not used to this 7th edition yet, but I think it was 3. Hold on, I'm sorry for the press. Here it is, 3 or more authors. You would insert. So this would be a good example. If you were using this in text, you would just put I'm not going to say the name right. Salmassi et al., 2017. Okay. But on the reference page citation, you're going to list all 3 authors' names. Okay. Then we have the year of copyright or publication. Then you have the title. Note that it's in sentence case. There's a colon there, and the first word after the colon is capitalized. The title of the journal is italicized. The volume is there. Or sorry, the issue is here, but not the volume. And so the volume number needs to be italicized if that's identified. And in this case, there might not have been. And then here's the page number and then the DOI. All right. So that's really kind of the most common errors that I'm finding right now in terms of APA. Okay, so now I'm going to change focus here and I'm going to try to do a new share. Okay, so this strategic planning case scenario assignment, I just want to highlight a few things. So you have this scenario right now, and I know I probably need to update the scenario a bit because meaningful use is something that is kind of being phased out, but it is still like, what I like about meaningful use is it kind of gives some framework for you in terms of where the organization needs to be at in this scenario. And so let's just go with meaningful use, incentives, and the guidelines there. And so this organization has decided to undertake a 5-year strategic planning activity, right? And so what you need to do is, I'm going to move myself here. What you need to do is identify the goals that the hospital should consider for furthering the value of their EHR and other health AT. What should those, why should those goals be considered? So um, what I would encourage you to do is look at kind of, what are the meaningful use incentive requirements and kind of where this organization is at, okay? So they have initially attested to earning meaningful use incentives, and then they're working to address all the subsequent requirements. And so kind of identifying what those are and what would be your first goal, your second goal, and then make sure that you're explaining what those goals are, okay, in detail, and why you selected those as the goal. Is it because this is the way healthcare is trending? Is it because this is a meaningful use incentive and it's really important for patient care? Maybe it's to meet specific quality objectives. Maybe there's other regs and things that this organization is considering. Maybe money. And so I think that will also trickle down into these next steps here. And so what steps can they take to develop a migration path that reflects the next set of phases of their information system? Okay, so think about logical next steps and kind of how they can develop that and implement that migration path. Okay. And then lastly, what factors may influence their 5-year planning horizon? So that's where maybe that money comes in, is a budgetary constraints. Is there maybe workforce shortages? Is there, is it a rural organization and there is, you know, internet access issues? So thinking along those lines, they think big picture and what types of factors may influence that planning horizon. Okay. All right. So as I said here, I hate using red, but use it to get your attention. And so um, I know that students really dislike group work. And so I'm hoping that you're going to be happy that this isn't a group assignment, but I wanted to give you that option in case you do need some help and some guidance and support for this assignment, because I think you really do have to think critically about this scenario and kind of where this organization should go. And so that's why I still put you in groups. And so feel free to reach out to those individuals via email. And so to set up a call or to set up a Zoom session, or even to just work through it via email. Maybe you just want somebody to proofread your submission, or give you feedback on a certain aspect of it. And so please check your emails and be responsive to one another as you work through this assignment. And so I know some of you leave it to the weekend, and that is just fine. Make sure you're checking your emails this weekend, and you're being supportive to one another. If you find that you need a little bit more time, don't hesitate to ask. I'm happy to give extensions. I just know things are really crazy right now, and I completely understand, because I'm feeling a little you know out of sorts myself. And so I just want you to know that I'm here to support you too. And so if you have any questions, or you get stuck, whatever it is, don't ever hesitate to email me. Okay. All right. So with that, I hope you all have a great rest of your week. And if you have any questions, please email me. All right. Bye.